Good morning, grade 7s. Good to speak to you again. I want to get your textbook and please find page 120. Please get there, pause the video, and once you have found your place, you can start watching the video again. Right, let's continue. On page 120, on top of the page, you will see active and passive voice. Now, we've spoken about this before. Active voice is the normal sentence in normal order. In other words, subject, verb, object. The subject being the one who does the work. The verb is the work that's been done, the work verb. And then object, what is being done. SVO. We've learned this little recipe, so-called recipe in class many times. SVO, subject, verb, object. That's your normal active voice sentence. Subject, verb, object. Like in the sentence, the teacher reads a poem. The teacher is the subject, read is the verb, a poem is the object. SVO. Now, that's the active voice. When we turn this all around and we turn it into the passive voice, we change it to OVS. In other words, the object goes to the front of the sentence, beginning of the sentence. In other words, instead of saying the teacher reads a poem, we will say a poem was read by the teacher. Now, as you note, we have switched the subject and the object, and we have also switched the tense. I want you to go to page 120, activity 4. Let's go to number 1 there. And number 1, activity 4 says, the adventurous girl climbed a high tree. The verb in that sentence would be climbed. Please underline climbed, very likely in pencil, because then you know that's the verb. So before it comes the S, and after it the object. Subject, verb, object. The adventurous girl, that's the subject, climbed, the verb, and a high tree is the object. That's the normal active voice sentence. When we switch that around into the passive voice, we will say, a high tree was climbed by the adventurous girl. Can you see what we did? The exact same recipe you can use every time. The SVO becomes OVS. Let's look at number 2. The boy passed the ball to his friend. Please underline the verb. In this case, it will be pass. When you pass the ball to someone else, the passing, that when you pass it, pass is the verb. That's the action that you are taking at that moment. So the minute you've underlined past, you will know the subject, verb, object. Now, when we rewrite this into the passive voice, we say, the ball was passed by the boy. But now we're left with a little bit of sentence left there. We have to add that. Okay, to his friend is a little bit that we didn't add to our sentence. So let's try again. We're going to say, the ball was passed by the boy to his friend. So the recipe stays the same. You find the verb, you know before it comes the subject, you know after the verb comes the object. You switch to to when you go into passive voice, and if there are any extra bits of sentences left, you add that to the end of your sentence. I'm going to do a last one here. You can do the rest yourselves in activity 4. Number 3 goes like this. The learners all passed the test. Passed, you can underline lightly in pencil. That is your verb, obviously. I remind you again, our recipe is SVO, subject, verb, object. If you turn this into the passive voice, we'll say, the test was passed by all the learners. So now it's OVS. Object comes first, then the verb, then the subject. Please try and do the same with 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of activity 4 in your own books. Have a good day.